It's a sunny, beautiful day. I can't wait to show you how the garden's been doing. Here's another exciting garden update. You can see most of the flowers have actually died off. I think there's only one little flower right now that's still actually a sunflower. Otherwise, most of them look like this right now because they've already been pollinated and they're going to seed. So I've cut off a lot of these heads. These ones are not quite ready yet, but I did cut off a lot of sunflower heads, and you can see a lot of leaves are even missing. I've been going through and collecting the seeds. Here they are. I've been cutting off a lot of the seed heads again so that I can clean them and then make sure that I save some of the seeds. This is one I've already collected a lot off of. Saving a lot of the seeds so that I can plant them again in a different part of my backyard. See all the seeds I have here? You won't even believe. I have a whole thing full of them. I need to keep drying them out until I'm able to plant them again next spring. What do you think of all those seeds? Look at that. Out of all the sunflowers we grew here. We'll come and give you a look on this side. So take a look. What do you see? What do you notice about the sunflowers? And do you still see beans? Do you see any of the bean leaves? Oh, there's a butterfly going through. The squash is doing really well. Look how large and how long the squash is growing along. I've even seen a couple. There's one. Can you see that? There's a little fruit coming on. So maybe that means we're gonna have squash growing just in time for Thanksgiving, maybe? I saw there was another one. Peekaboo, did you see that? There's another one growing, and there's another one in here too. So they're just starting to grow some fruits, which will be really exciting to see if those grow off and if we're able to eat any. There's another blossom. One's gonna come out there, but we were talking about the bean leaves. There's still a lot of bean leaves. Most of them, you know, look like this and look like they've been eaten through. Somebody's been eating the leaves, so that'll be an experiment for next time. I didn't get a chance to try any of the leaves for myself to eat or saute, so we'll have to try again with better pest management. But the leaves have come so far up. If you can tell, these ones have been eaten, but there's beans growing this high up. You see that? Look how high up this bean is growing. And the beans do grow all the way to the tippy top of these really tall sunflowers. You see that? All the way up there. Isn't that cool? So what I've done, this one doesn't really look like how some of the other ones looked, but they were deep red and kind of brown. Like I missed my chance to eat these beans, but guess what I'm doing here? Any guesses? I'm doing the same thing as the sunflowers. I caught these beans before they went into the soil to sprout more plants, so that maybe next season I can actually try to grow these, dry them out, and then grow them next spring or summer. And then try for some more beans that I'll actually be able to eat. So even though I didn't eat the beans, they still gave me a lot of seeds to grow. Isn't that exciting? And the way these ones work, I'm sure you've seen it. They just pop open and then they're hanging out inside. You see that there? They're kind of white compared to these ones. We're really ready. They're a little bit more brown, so I just let them dry out somewhere where bugs can't get to them. I let them dry out and then they'll turn a little bit more brown. And then the more dry they get, I'll go ahead and put them into a bag and then save them. We'll be able to grow those beans next time. So we're coming to an end here for our beans and our sunflowers. So next time I do a garden video, most of this will be gone. Most of the sunflowers are actually going to be gone. Like I said, here's our last flower saying goodbye. Next it's seeds, and I'm going to come through and collect these beans. Oh wow, you see all the ones back there? You see all those dangling around? I'm going to come through and collect those. Hopefully eat some, but if not, we'll have some seeds to grow for next time. And then over on this side of the walkway, I have this lettuce that is doing incredibly well. I got this back in June. Was it June that we went to Tahoe? And I picked this up at a grocery store and I plopped it in here in my yard, and I've been able to pick off leaves a little bit every week, a little bit when I want some, and then it keeps growing for me. As long as I don't pick the whole head out, it keeps growing some leaves, so it's a good investment for lettuce. And these ones is a little bit of an experiment here too. Have you ever had leek? It's almost like a green onion, but it's called a leek. I use it for a lot in soup, and what I've done, it was the same thing as the lettuce. It had roots on these two, so I planted them in the soil, and they are growing. Can you see how tall they've got? When I cut them for my soup, they were this tall only. Now they're growing, so maybe I'll be able to use some of that in some more soup. Do you see any other plants here in this blue one? Or that's it, just those 3 big ones, that's it? I don't know, do you see these ones back here? This fell off of the green onion. These ones are new, and to be honest with you, I don't know what they are, so I'm gonna let them keep growing, and then we'll see what happens with them. But these ones over here have finally started to sprout out. How many can you see? I see 1, 2, 3, and did you see this one over here? 4. We're gonna see what those grow into be. I do remember planting carrots in here, so maybe these are some carrots kind of late blooming coming out at the very end. We'll see what happens. Speaking of the green onions, they're doing really well. Some of these I could cut off and actually use in a little bit of soup. They're doing too well. And then the flowers also. The beautiful purple flowers are going to seed a little bit here. You can see that one's gonna go give us some seeds, but beautiful purple. Here's another angle of those beautiful purple flowers I have. Some of them, like I said, are going to seed. Some of them will be giving us some seeds that we can grow again next year. And then there's that last little sunflower, and they're drooping. Here comes the fall. Really lucky here today with a beautiful sunny day. Just nice little breeze coming through, keeping me cool. But you see the strawberries have been growing really large. I was a little sad last time a lot of strawberries were growing. Something came through and ate them off of my bush. Some kind of little rodent or something, or maybe a sneaky raccoon came in and ate some strawberries. What do you think about that? Otherwise, this is the celery. It's growing in pretty large, actually. We still have about 5 bushes. We have the 1, 2, this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. They all look like one clump because they're starting to grow really well together, but maybe soon enough it'll thicken up. It doesn't look like too thick of celery. I gotta give it maybe some more fertilizer here this week. I gave some over the weekend, and it's not doing great, but it's not dying off, so that's exciting to know. The celery's doing okay. What do you think about the kale? Do you think it's time to start picking some of that kale? It's massive. I've started cutting some of it off. Some of it's starting to die off on the side, but the kale I think has been doing the best of all. What do you think? Would you try any of this kale? Look how massive it is. It's a whole bush of kale. You remember this pot here? Remember I was gonna make this into a hanging plant? Well, the joke's on me because we'll follow this one up. Look how tall this one is. I can't even hang it, but we had some flowers start showing up. Look how pretty these are. I have no idea what the name of this is. And there's more over here. Aren't those beautiful flowers? We got lucky with those ones. A little surprise bouquet. And then here's our agave doing really well. And then the same thing over in this one. These plants are almost as tall as me. Imagine if we would have hung these hanging planters up and then they would have been growing past the roof. There's no flowers on this one yet, but I know soon enough they're going to be popping out to show us their colors as well. I almost wonder if it's the same as these ones. We'll have to wait and see. What color do you think they're going to be? What color do you think they're going to be here? Well, what do you think? How does it look? Do you see anything else that looks different? It all looks pretty different in the last month. I've been out here and everything's been growing really well. We've had a lot of nice sun that the plants like. We've also had a little bit of rain and mist come in, but we need to keep doing our rain dance, hope for some more rain. Well, what did you think? Did you see anything you really enjoyed? Did you find something new, or did you learn something new today? Hopefully next time I'll have more updates for you, and maybe next time the sunflowers won't even be here. So enjoy them one last time while we still have them before the fall comes, right? Fall's already our next season. Look, there's a bee flying around. Wants to say goodbye to you as well. I hope you stay well, and I hope you stay safe, and we'll be seeing you soon enough.